I've driven this car to Hershey numerous times. This car has been to Hilton Head. It's been to Chicago. Wouldn't hesitate to get in this car and drive anywhere. It's just a car that people don't believe has 116,000 miles on it. Hi, I'm Brice Kadel. I'm in Urbana, Ohio. This is my 1984 factory turbo look 911. The uniqueness of this car makes it a great car for somebody that's a Porsche aficionado and wants to pull into a Porsche event and not have a car that looks like everybody else's. I've been a PCA member for more than 15 years, and over those years I've owned 7 different Porsches, including a 914 that I owned twice, 356 SC, 2 944s, 911, and this car, and I currently have a Boxster S. I've had this car now for 9 years. 3 years ago, I bought a 2005 Boxster S, and I've literally driven this car less than 200 miles since then. I'm old, I've had 4 back operations. It's a great 27-year-old car, but it's a 27-year-old car. So it's time for it to go to somebody else that will appreciate it as much as I have. After looking for 3 years for a turbo look that wasn't red, black, or white, I found this one outside Philadelphia in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I've got the original paperwork on this car back to day one. The original owner had it delivered in Germany, drove it around in Europe for a couple thousand miles, and then had it shipped to their home in El Paso, Texas. I've got the original dealer book with all the service stamps in it, as well as a whole folder full of documentation from previous owners. I've got the certificate of authenticity put out by Porsche Cars of North America with all the options, and it also has the original sticker underneath the hood with the all-important 491 turbo look option. The 491 option code on the stamp underneath the hood, as well as on the certificate of authenticity, is the code for the turbo look option. In 1984, emissions would not allow turbo to be brought into the country, so Porsche said, okay, we're going to build the car, we're going to do everything to it that we would for a turbo, but we're not going to put the engine in it. So it's got the bigger brakes, it's got the suspension of a turbo, and probably most important, it's got the big fat fenders of a turbo. Car has a lot of strong points, you know. Obviously the first point is that it's just a real unique car in a real unique color. One of 355. Mechanically, for 116,000 miles, the car is in great shape. During my ownership, I put a new clutch in, I put in new first and second gear synchros. The car has new Continental tires. It's a great car. As far as this car versus a turbo, it's absolutely, in a lot of people's opinion, a better way to go. You don't have the maintenance headaches of a turbo. You obviously don't have the horsepower, but you also don't have the lag. And you also don't have the 4-speed transmission that was available in a turbo at that time. This has a 5-speed, but yet it has the great brakes, the beefed up suspension that the turbo had, and again, most importantly, the big fat fenders. When I purchased the car, I had Rod Birch of Sacramento, California, a noted 911 audio expert, design a system for the car. It's got a new Nakamachi head unit, CD, radio, new speakers in each door, 2 new speakers in the rear deck, and it also has 2 8-inch subs in rods, design system that fits in the rear footwalls. If you want to put your kids back there and need to take these out, 4 screws and they're out. Car's been updated to H4 headlights. If you've ever driven a 911 at night, you know headlights are not one of their assets. The H4s are, believe it or not, a big improvement. The car has a new front lower spoiler, original equipment. It has new rubber molding strips along the side, has new rear bumper bellows that both have new license plate lights in them. The car's been on a page of the Griot's handbook. It's also the centerfold, along with having other pictures, in Tony Corlette's book, Porsche 911, the 3.2 Carrera. This is a hardbound book that was published a few years ago, and Tony thought this car was worthy of being the centerfold feature car in his book. This car is kind of the best of both worlds. It'd be the greatest daily driver on earth. It's really nice, but it's not a trailer queen. It does have a few imperfections. There's some stone chips. They've been touched up, but you know, they're not perfect. Again, the car does really well at People's Choice judged events. It's a car you can, if you drive it down the road and you get a rock chip in the front bumper, you're not going to lose sleep over it. It's not that perfect, but it's way above average and can be used for both show purposes or daily driver purposes.